back to another review of I May Destroy You, Season 1, Episode 5. It just came up. So, we pick up where we left off, which is Arabella walking with Zane. And surprisingly to me, they're in bed. They're having sex. But upon second watch, you see that Arabella is having sex with Zane, but she is thinking about Biagio. But they are very much so comfortable with each other, into each other. I don't know. We never know how much time has passed, but clearly they've been spending a little bit more time together. She has on his little business shirt. She's in her underwear. She gets out of the bed to do yoga, and she's getting really good at yoga from the last few episodes. She had just started, but you can see she's really getting into her core. She's feeling strong. She's feeling good about herself. Well, if she's not, she's putting on a good front that she is. But Zane gets up to go, I'm assuming, take a shower, and she starts to listen to this podcast. The podcast starts to talk about how men are going about taking off condoms while having sex with women, and it being another form of sexual assault. And they say the infamous didn't feel good, or you didn't feel the difference. The same thing that Zane told her. And she's feeling like it is a problem. You can clearly see that she's upset. She's so upset that she storms out and nothing but the shirt. And she stops off to get some paint. Kind of see that she's trying to rush the healing process. She's trying to rush to that yoga, rush to that painting, rush to that comfort of another person, that she's not really being careful about who she's being around. So she finally goes to the beauty salon and takes off that wig. I was really relieved to see her take that wig off, because the incident happened. She had that wig on and she hadn't removed it since. And I just saw it kind of as another, kind of her wearing the same clothing that she wore that night, like she was still walking around with it, though she may have washed it, did some other things to it. I don't know. I just was happy to see her take that off. It was like her taking off something that she was wearing when it happened. But she asked the beautician, you know, what should I do? What are you thinking? And we cut to her being completely bald. Now, we know that when women in particular cut their hair off, sometimes it comes from a place of strength, and other times it comes from, aggression, sadness. You're emotional. Been there, been bald, look good bald. It can come from both places, and in her case, I feel like it's coming from a sunken, saddened place. But we see her and Kwame and Terry at the police station, and they're letting her know from her DNA sample they may have a match to who sexually assaulted her. And letting her know, there's a possibility that we can find the guy. We've narrowed down our choices. We just need you to do A and B. And Arabella is really casual. She's really joking about it, as she's been with everything else. She goes as far as to call them the rapist busters, like a play on Ghostbusters. Very weird. Not how you would think someone would be who's been in her situation. But she is just not she hasn't given herself time to be in her emotions to heal from anything. She's just kind of playing it by ear. I'm just rolling with the punches when she needs to heal and slow down. But they also tell her that they need to cancel out other sexual partners. And she needs to tell Biagio. And she hasn't. She has not said anything to Biagio about what happened. She still has not spoken to this man. Everything but that. And they also say that Simon reached out and he's willing to volunteer any information. We have not gotten back to Simon and his wife at all. We just saw that situation happen and we jumped and we haven't went back. I can't wait to get back because I'd like to see, because we left off with the wife standing at the door. Want to see what happened with that. Before I forget, I just want to say Michaela Cole, character Arabella, she looks so good bald. She looks good in general, like the skin, everything. She's a very beautiful woman, high cheekbones. She's like a slender Nina Simone type of look happening. Really looks good. But while we see her there, at the police station, the women are telling her that that some people do not file as many assault cases because it's just a fine line to what people consider assault and what's not. And again, she mentions, removing the condom while sex. And they're like, yes, there's a term for that. That's an actual crime. And we see Kwame, he's sitting there, he's soaking everything in. We can see thus far that he has not mentioned what happened to him to his friends, but he is feeling like, maybe he should go and report what happened to him. Terry and Kwame, they begin to leave the station, and Kwame types in, he's searching, it just says humping, consensual humping. And I wasn't totally sure. I'm like, well, did he enter him, or was he just in a roundabout way on him, just humping him? I was a little confused, but either way, it was a sexual assault and it was unwanted. But oh my God, my voice is going away. We cut to Arabella. She's back with her publishing that she promised to meet, and the woman who's in control of the writing summit happens to be Black. And Arabella and the woman over the writing summit are so excited to see another Black person in their field. And they really don't care. Like, I don't care what your book's about. I don't care how much exposure I get at your summit. I'm just happy to talk to another sister. That was really cute to see. And it just lets you know the limitations as far as people of color. Like, we're not seeing anybody like ourselves. So that was good to see. It was funny, a little breather from these heavy episodes. But Zane is there, so he's involved with the summit also. He's also getting in exposure from this, and we also see another young lady there that Zane happens to know, and we see how he knows her further into the episode. And Arabella also mentions that she'd like to bring her friend along to speak, Terry. But we also see Arabella jokingly say, I was sexually assaulted. I was R-word. And still so, like, the casualty of it all, like, it's too much. But she also playfully says that, we know who my sexual assaulter is. Yeah, his name is Zane. And he's like, what? And it's kind of laughed off, like, girl, you're funny. But you can already see that seeds have been planted for her to feel like I've been sexually assaulted by Zane as well when he removed a condom. So after the round table, we cut to Arabella and Terry doing yoga. And you can tell that she's really gotten into yoga. She's strengthening her core. She's doing, that strong chakra aligning pose that you have to use all of your upper body strength to do. But she's talking about being brave and being strong and facing things head on. Then we see her and Zane painting in his nice apartment, all casual like, and he's a little standoffish. And he goes, why didn't you tell me? And she's like, well, tell you what? I told you you needed to help me with the sum. He's like, no, why didn't you tell me that you were sexually assaulted? I feel, really sad knowing that happened to you. Making it like he can relate. And he's saddened, but what I got from it, that he's saddened, like, if I had known that you had went through that prior, I wouldn't have did what I did. And she goes that, well, I didn't tell you that you were a sexual assaulter because I thought it would change us. And he's like, wait, what'd you say? And she said, well, I didn't tell you about it because I thought it would change us. Like she's dropping all these hints. She wants to say something, but she doesn't actually say anything. We get to her standing outside of the writing summit, and she finally calls Biagio. She can't get many words out because as soon as she says that, which is very hard for her to say in the first place, someone, you know, I was in a club and someone put something in my drink, and Biagio flips. You have to be careful, Bella. You have to watch your drinks. You need to watch your drink. And she's like, oh, bye, I gotta go. Like, you're already on 10, and that's all I said. We're not going past that. We walk into the summit. Terry is there, and she's talking. Just, you know, socializing, going around the party, who's there, what to expect, what are we going to talk about. And Arabella is just focused on Zane. We get to Kwame. He's finally at the police station, and he's trying to report his assault. And we see right off the bat that Kwame is not getting the same care and attention that Arabella got when she reported hers. There aren't two women specialists or any of that, you know, really invested in her case and trying to figure out what happened to her, you know, handling her with kid gloves, very, very nice, very endearing the way that they're talking to her. They're really invested in figuring out what happened to her and making sure it doesn't happen again. We get to Kwame. It's a male police officer. Actually the guy from Chewing Gum, the sensitive boyfriend who was crying all the time. He's, you know, asking questions, you know, well, what's the name? And, oh, we can't use that. Was he black? We can't just say black. Was he tall? Give me a description. I mean, was he humping? Was he in you? Did he enter? Where were you? Where you went voluntarily? Well, did he? It's a lot of words being exchanged other than we care. I'm so sorry that happened to you. What can I do to help? And he goes, you know what? You can kind of tell that the officer is uncomfortable and that he's probably most likely a heterosexual man. And he's like, I'm not here for none of this. Let me go get someone who can help you, who specializes in this, because you need someone special, instead of really investing time in hearing what Kwame is saying. Kwame is sitting there. Kwame's done. Kwame looks hurt because, of course, he sat there from what we can see each time that Bella has went to the station, and he's heard these women, they're really invested in caring towards her, and he goes in there and it's like, this is a little uncomfortable for me. Let me get someone who can help you, because no. And Kwame's just sitting there. At this point, I already saw Kwame walking out. But we cut back to Bella and Terry. They're talking, and Bella starts to talk with the other woman who Zane knew at the round table, and she asks, you know, are you guys involved? Are you seeing each other? She's like, no. And she's like, well, you know, did you guys ever? And the woman says, you can't control a guy's nature. You can't control a guy's nature. Alluding to, you know, I've been through some things with this man, and most likely he did the same thing to me, and I'm feeling some type of way also. So Arabella is getting it from both ends. She was already feeling it at the beginning of this episode all the way to the middle, and now you have confirmation from another woman that this is a serial problem. So she's giving Zane this death stare, like she's upset. And then you have Terry in this ear. She's buzzing. Oh man, this blah 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 blah. I wish I could blah blah. He ain't blah blah blah. Like Terry is on it. She's the annoying fly at a barbecue. Not that she was wrong, but it was just like, oh my God, Terry, you are adding all kinds of fuel to this fire. But we cut back to Kwame, and we see a woman coming in. I was like, oh goodness, female. Maybe she'll be a little bit more relatable to his issue. She's like, oh, just checking. You're right. Just checking. Going gone. At this point, Kwame is clearly not getting what he came for at this station. He is not getting at all the same treatment that we saw the women give Arabella. We see the officer come back in, and he's like, well, yeah, what I said last video, which doesn't make it any better. That's hard to prove. You know, you went there voluntarily, and you beforehand you had consensual sex with this man. And it's like, you know, what does that have to do with anything? I was violated, I was physically assaulted, I was held down, I was ejaculated on. Take some notes, file a report, and go track this man down. Kwame's like, I don't care about the name, height, whatever. I have this man's address. I have vital information for you to go book him. And they're like, yeah, that's not enough to go on. You went there voluntarily. And yeah, Kwame's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. Like, this ain't it. It's not. But we see that Kwame is so saddened in the way that he's being treated, as he should be. There were no fucks given to Kwame in his case whatsoever. But Kwame leaves, didn't accomplish anything by going there, which is very hurtful, because if you go and you muster up so much courage to go and tell some random police officer about your assault or anything that happens to you for that matter, and nobody cares, what does that say about anything? Well, I mean, it says a lot about how a woman is treated in a sexual assault case versus a man, as we see all the time. But we cut back to Arabella at the writing summit behind stage, about to go on stage. Once again, we have Terry. Terry is going. Hey, man, he's whack for that. Terry is on one. And Arabella at this point looks enraged. It's time for Terry to go on stage. And she, out of nowhere, has stage fright. All that mouth, and she has stage fright. And we already have Zane and another writer on stage. And from the looks of the audience, we have his mother sitting front row. But Arabella goes out instead, because when they call Terry's name, she is nowhere to be found. And she goes, you know, I was sexually assaulted. And there's a sexual assaulter here, and his name is Zane. I wish I could just say the R word. His name is Zane, and he did this to me. And it was just confirmed that he did it to another woman. He needs to be stopped. Someone needs to call him out on it. We were having sex, and he flipped me around, and he took the condom off. And the room dropped, as it should have. But, you know, we see Arabella in her stance. And it's really good to see, coming from how broken she's been these past couple of episodes. It was very nice to see her strong. Zane gets up. He's trying to rush out. And Terry's like, no. We gonna get this. Where you going? No. You gonna live in this moment. No. Where you going, bruh? Yeah. Terry's like, you're not just walking off. But we cut back to a bar, and Arabella, Terry, and the nice Caucasian lady, don't know her name. They're, you know, discussing and cheers and thumbs up. Way to go, Arabella. That was so great. He needs to be called out. Me too. We see already that post have been made. Terry's a GIF. Memes, and there's a lot of support online for Arabella, and, you know, way to go. Terry sends a screenshot to Kwame, who is in a completely different stance in his bedroom, as we saw before when he was talking to Horny Man 808. We were very comfortable. He was in his element. He was scrolling and swiping, and yeah, I'm gonna get this D and keep it moving. Versus now, Kwame is very closed off. He looks very hurt. Kwame doesn't look like the same Kwame that we saw even in the first episode, especially if you've been sexually assaulted and it's like you've been assaulted all over again because nobody cared about your situation. Not even enough to file a report because you had consensual sex the first time. So that was very hard to see. We finally get to Arabella, and we have this moment that we've been waiting for. Well, I've been waiting for her to finally say, Biagio, this is what happened to me. I'm hurt. I'm scared. Her confide in Biagio did the complete opposite of what I thought he would do. He victim blamed and he made it about himself. Oh my God, you're blowing up my spot. You know my lifestyle. I have to go to the police station now. If you were watching your drink, this wouldn't have happened to you. Who told you to say that? You don't get to say that to me. You don't get to say that to anybody who's been through that type of situation, because the person who's been through it does them to themselves enough. Or maybe if I had been walking, alone that night, maybe if I was watching my drink, maybe if my friend had went with me, maybe if I had maybe if I took an Uber, maybe if I was a little bit more sober that day, maybe I would have made a better decision. The victim blames themselves enough. We did not need Biagio in that moment. I thought we were going to get some support from Biagio. Oh my God, let me fly right out. No. We got victim shaming. Arabella hangs up, says, I'm never talking to you again. And she cries. She hits that shirt. She cries. Just like, clearly she was expecting something different also. But she perks up. She wipes her face. She takes a couple of selfies. And she posts. And she get that support that she needs from other women on social media pertaining to the Zane situation, but let alone just support. Way to go, somebody finally did it, and that was amazing to see, because a lot of times we never know where we're going to get what we need. But that was the review of I May Destroy You. It just came up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there are a lot of cuts and noises and rat-a-tat-tat in this video, I have a 2-year-old. So I have a 9-year-old and a 2-year-old. So yeah, it's just a miracle that I made this video at all. I just got off work. I'm getting hoarse. I'm tired. I didn't really eat much of anything today. Like, I'm working for you guys, Right. If I missed anything, because I might have, drop it in a comment. But as always, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Touch bases. I'm not posting these videos just for myself. They are for myself because this is a show that I wanted to speak on, and hopefully more shows and movies to come. But this is also for you guys to give me feedback on, hey, I thought the same thing, or I got something totally different from that. Who knows? That's why we enjoy these things together. But thank you guys for stopping by. See you on my next video. Bye.